Lately, outdoor lovers have been all about duck hunting, but what about deer hunting? Well, in today's Outdoor Report, Wake Up Central's Skot Covert tells us more about an interesting hunt, plus everything you need to know about the later half of duck season.
All right, it's Saturday, which means it's time for another edition of the Outdoor Report, joined by our friend from Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, Trey Reid. Trey, let's talk a little bit about some deer. We went heavy on ducks the last few weeks. We'll circle back and talk about some ducks, but we've still got some life left in deer season.
We do. You know, actually, today and tomorrow are the last 2 days of the Antlerless only private lands hunt, which is a mouthful, admittedly. For many years, we did this hunt earlier in the season in October, and basically based on feedback from hunters. There used to be a muzzleloading hunt at this time, and so it basically took the place of that muzzleloading hunt. And again, I mean, just really kind of feedback from the deer hunting community and what they were asking for. But one more opportunity if you need to manage some does. Of course, there's a lot of people that are in our DMAP, our Deer Management Assistance Program, that will be able to hunt on through January with bonus doe tags to get those sex ratios in balance. But this is an opportunity for most of our hunters to do that. Now, to clear up the confusion, a lot of people say, well, it's private lands only. You don't have to be the landowner. Like if you're in a lease on one of the big timber company tracts in South Arkansas, or you hunt on grandpa or uncles or aunts, 80 acres somewhere, wherever that is, it's just on private land. You don't have to be the landowner, as opposed to
probably need permission.
You do need permission. You do need permission, but it's just not on like national forest lands, wildlife management areas, national wildlife refuge. So when we say private lands, and again on the antlerless only part, you will not be penalized for shooting a button buck, although you do have to check it as a button buck when you check that.
But it counts as antlerless,
right?
And you're in the clear as long as you're on private land.
That's right. That's right. So the 3-day hunt ends tomorrow, the last 3 days of the year.
Getting towards the end of it, which reminds me that youth deer hunt next weekend, huh?
Yeah, we do have one more modern gun hunt. It's only for the kids, ages 6 to 15, and that is next Saturday and Sunday. And we do 2 youth deer hunts. There's one the week before the modern gun season opens in November, and then this one kind of on the tail end of the season. So this will be the last gun hunt available to anybody. Of course, archery season runs through February 28th, but again, ages 6 to 15, get a lot of questions about hunter ed. If a kid has passed hunter ed, they can hunt by themselves, you know, and of course that's at the discretion of the parents or mentors, like what they're comfortable with. But we do get asked that a lot. So if your child has passed hunter ed, certainly they can hunt by themselves. If not, a mentor, an adult 21 or older, has to be within arm's reach, basically monitoring every aspect of the hunt.
And we've seen a few questions this season alone, something about that customer ID number, not necessarily a license, but give us a refresher on what you need.
That's a great point ahead of this youth season. I mean, when a youth checks a deer, they are required now to have a customer ID number. It doesn't cost anything. You just go to agfc.com, the license portal where you buy your license or get your WMA permits or whatever. You just there is a product on there called Youth Customer ID Number, and you just sign your kid up for that, and when they hopefully get their deer next weekend, they'll use that number instead of yours to check the deer.
And that's really the big benefit, but in essence, that account, if you will, that account number follows them when they get licensed.
Right, they will have, that will be their number when they turn 16 and get a license, and when they take hunter ed if they haven't taken it, when they maybe participate in one of our youth shooting sports programs. That's kind of like almost like a social security number with Arkansas Game and Fish.
If you will. It's going to convert over as they grow older. Okay, awesome. All right, we said we'd come back, circle back to ducks. Let's talk about it. Do we have to? I know. Hey, look, I'm optimistic. I really am. A couple of reasons why. Of course, the weather influence on all this. Got a little bit of rain around Christmas, probably not as much as a lot of folks would like, and then we had lesser amounts the further east into the Delta, but it looks like we could see a weather pattern shift to get some cold air next week. Is it what we need? Not entirely, but we'll take it.
I'll take it. I mean, because we've got a couple of things working against us right now. We talked about the low numbers estimated in the aerial waterfowl survey.
Which is foundational to this. It's not just the drought.
No,
we started the season.
The breeding population counted on the Canadian and northern U.S. prairies back in the summer was the lowest it's been in 30 years.
It's automatically going to be tough.
So it was already lower to start with, and some of those birds have been removed from the population
between there and here
in upper portions of the Mississippi and Central Flyways since that count was conducted. But yeah, the other thing to remember is there's so many variables. You do the weather, I mean, but temperatures as well as water. Now, we did get a little bit of rain, but we need one of those soakers. We need a lot more rain. I mean, we're still in drought throughout eastern Arkansas.
Drought. That's right.
But I won't complain about the cold weather. I mean, we were talking earlier in the week, and while we have had cold weather in Arkansas, I mean, it's unseasonably warm in the northern portions of the Mississippi and Central Flyways. He did have a blizzard that hit the Dakotas and Nebraska, probably got some ducks moving. Maybe we'll see some benefits of that, but we could use the cold. Now we just want the rain. Yeah,
and gosh, you think about El Nino as we're entering in, we're really seeing that El Nino pattern shape up, which often produces more rain in our neck of the woods. The problem is it produces warmer weather up north. So it kind of, I don't know if we're going to have both this season. We might have one or the other, but I don't know if we're going to have both to meet up. If we do, perhaps we've got some luck.
Here's the good news. A lot of people don't realize this. So duck season reopened on Wednesday after the 3-day split for Christmas. There's still, as of that point, 36 days. So what is that, 33 days left? Now, we still have more than half the season left.
Right.
So I'm trying to spin it positive, Scott.
Well, and I'm going to help you out a little bit. I listened to some of your comments on another broadcast recently. This is not necessarily super uncommon to start off duck season dry in Arkansas.
That's correct.
It's not great, but it's not necessarily groundbreaking or shattering. It ain't like we've never done this before.
Usually pretty dry in October and November. It starts to get wetter in November. I mean, you know as well as anybody. Then the pattern typically shifts. It gets wetter in December and January. Just hasn't happened.
Hasn't happened yet. But 33 more days left to go. I think we can turn this around. All right, that's enough talking about ducks. We'll be back with more next week on another edition of the Outdoor Report.